If you've ever walked into a room and noticed people reacting to you in a strange way, without you saying a single word, then this video is for you. Maybe they suddenly went quiet, maybe they gave you a different kind of look, or maybe the whole vibe of the conversation shifted. You felt it in your body, but you couldn't explain it. That wasn't paranoia. There's something in you that others pick up on, even if they don't understand it. Carl Jung discovered that certain people carry a rare aura, a frequency so uncommon that modern psychology still struggles to fully explain it. It's not just sensitivity, and it's more than simple intuition. It's like you radiate an energy shaped by the pain you've lived through, but transformed into something that stirs everyone around you. This aura is both healing and a mirror. What looks like weakness is actually a form of traumatic alchemy. It's not naive kindness. It's survival turned into power. While the world tried to convince you that feeling too much was a flaw, Jung was already showing that it could be the mark of one of the rarest strengths of the human psyche. Your vulnerability isn't a lack. It's the raw material of your hidden power. And that's why today you're going to understand this gift on a deeper level. You'll see why your sensitivity attracts both light and shadow, and what you need to do so you're not just a target, but someone who rules their own energy. You'll learn how to turn wounds into strength, pain into purpose, and your sensitivity into a beacon that can light the way for yourself and for others. There's a rare, almost secret aura that surrounds people like you. Jung called it the frequency of the wounded healer. It's as if your soul has been scarred by invisible battles, and every mark turned into a kind of spiritual antenna. You're not too sensitive. You're someone who translates pain into energy people can feel. Think of it like a harp. Even the slightest breeze makes its strings vibrate. That same gift that moves you to tears with a simple song is the one that makes you feel the weight of someone's unspoken anger. And yeah, it can get confusing because it feels like you live on a higher frequency that most folks just don't get. But it's not weakness, it's alchemy. You turn trauma into perception. Here's the kicker: what Jung discovered and what psychology textbooks still don't talk about is that this gift is double-edged. It attracts both light and shadow. You're like a torch in the dark. Some people come close to feel the warmth, while others hide because they don't want their shadows exposed. And it's in that contrast that you find out who's truly ready to walk by your side. But the promise goes beyond the wound. Jung believed the journey doesn't stop at the wounded healer. There's a passage, a higher stage, the sovereign healer. That's when you learn to keep your flame alive without letting other people's winds blow it out. You don't stop feeling, you just learn when, how, and for whom to direct your energy. Your pain stops being a prison and turns into a tool for leadership. Picture the old alchemists. Lead had to be burned until it became gold. Your pain is the lead. Your hidden power is the gold that comes if you go through the fire. And that transformation is what separates the ones who stay drained forever from the ones who learn to rule their sensitivity. The price is real, but the reward is bigger: emotional freedom and a clear sense of purpose. If you've recognized yourself so far, I want you to step into this inner circle. Drop a comment: "I am fire that heals," or "My sensitivity is my crown." This isn't just a phrase. It's a pact with your identity. It's the key that marks the start of your journey from wounded healer to sovereign healer. And once you claim it, you'll be ready for the next step of this revelation. You've probably noticed your sensitivity didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It started way back in childhood. While other kids were still stumbling over syllables, you were already decoding facial expressions like they were some secret language. Every side glance, every heavy silence, every sharper breath told you more than words ever could. Your body learned early on to pick up what wasn't being said, like a radar that never sleeps. In practice, your nervous system turned into an intention detector. Before someone even raised their voice, you could sense the anger hiding underneath. Before anyone admitted they were sad, you already felt the heaviness in the air. That gift started as a survival mechanism, but over time it grew into part of your identity. It's like you developed a sixth sense, an invisible software always running in the background, decoding signals most people completely miss. Today, science is finally catching up with what Jung intuited decades ago. Studies on mirror neurons show that your brain reacts to other people's emotions as if they were your own. Your limbic system, the part of the brain that processes emotions, works overtime. And researchers like Elaine Aron have been studying this for years. Only a small fraction of people process the world this deeply, but that fraction sees layers of reality most folks can't even imagine. That's why, since you were a kid, you probably seemed more mature or too worried compared to others. While your friends played carefree, you were already reading the tension on adults' faces, predicting arguments before they started, and sensing when something was off. Sure, it might have been heavy at times, maybe even made you feel out of place. But that invisible training shaped your rare aura. You didn't ask for it, but you were being prepared in ways most never are. And now it all starts to make sense. It's not drama. It's not exaggeration. What you lived was the making of a hypersensitive radar. Yes, it can drain you, but it's also the seed of a powerful gift. That same radar that's worn you out for years can become your compass. For understanding people, guiding your choices, even inspiring real change. The key is learning to use it instead of letting it use you. If you're recognizing yourself in this video, pause for a second and show some love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments which country you're watching from. I want to see how far this message is traveling, because this community is already crossing borders. And one more thing, drop a suggestion. What topic do you want to see here next? Your idea might just become the next video, maybe even one revealing secrets of psychology no one else is talking about. And it's exactly because you've lived in that constant radar mode since childhood that you develop something most people can't even explain. The ability to sense what's hiding beneath the surface. For example, a lot of women say they can instantly pick up on a man's predatory energy, even when he tries to act polite or harmless. It's that gut-level discomfort, that body signal that fires before a single word is spoken. You know that kind of perception too. Jung explained this through the mechanism of anima projection. Many times, unconscious men project their own feminine shadow onto women around them, treating them not as real people, but as screens for their desires, frustrations, or fantasies. And the same thing happens in reverse. We all project in one way or another. The difference is that the empath doesn't get stuck in the projection. You actually see the other person as a human being, and that changes everything. When you pick up on this energy, you're not making things up. No matter how many times people have accused you of that, you're simply noticing what most prefer to ignore. It's like the world is wearing dark sunglasses while you're watching in high definition. The details jump out, the signs are obvious, but only to those willing to look. And here's the catch. The clearer you see, the harder it becomes to look away. That's why you often can't fool yourself in relationships. You feel when someone isn't fully there, when their words say one thing but their energy screams something else. While others fall for appearances, you've already caught the hidden tone, the shifty glance, the weight of what wasn't said. That kind of perception can set you free, but it can also wear you down. Being an empath at its core means carrying a silent responsibility, seeing past the mask. Jung said most people live projecting their shadow onto others, but you go right through that curtain. You don't just see the image they try to maintain, you sense the raw humanity underneath with all its flaws and contradictions. And that's exactly why you often feel out of place. You're not buying the show, you're watching the backstage. And maybe this is the most curious part. Your sensitivity isn't just a shield, it's like a constant revelation. And every time you face these perceptions, one question comes up. Will this gift push you away from others? Or can it become the path to building deeper, more authentic connections? That question opens the door for the next step of the journey, where the shadow stops being a threat and becomes the key. When you start seeing past the masks, a silent mechanism kicks in inside you. It almost always follows the same script. First comes the scan, that quick, instinctive sweep of the environment. Without realizing it, you're analyzing looks, tones of voice, even the rhythm of someone's breathing. It's like every tiny detail is a clue, and your nervous system connects the dots in seconds. You're not trying, it just happens. Right after comes the heavier phase, absorption. This is where Jung's idea of participation mystique comes alive. It means you don't just notice what someone else feels, you end up carrying it as if it were yours. It's that feeling of leaving a conversation completely drained, even when nothing serious was said. It's like your boundaries blur, and you merge with the other person's energy without even noticing. This process is invisible because most people around you don't pick up on it at all. They go through life as if every emotion is separate, while you've already become a kind of emotional container for the group. Picture a sponge soaking up all the spilled water. The floor looks dry to everyone else, but you're the one who's drenched. That weight isn't imaginary. It's the direct consequence of your heightened sensitivity. And here's where the rare part comes in, the alchemy. Some empaths manage to transform what they absorb into something new, like taking in someone's pain and sending it back as calm, compassion, or even inspiration. That's the potential of the healer. But getting there isn't easy. Before you reach that stage, you fight a silent battle, trying to tell apart what's truly yours from what belongs to everyone else. It takes practice, awareness, and above all, boundaries. The best way to think about it is this: your body is an emotional radar. Picks up signals most people don't even know they're broadcasting. But it doesn't stop there. The radar translates those signals into real physical and emotional reactions inside you. That's why your stomach tightens in a tense room, or your heart races around someone anxious. Your body isn't making things up. It's reading frequencies. But here's the catch. Every radar has a cost. The more it detects, the more energy it burns. And yours works the same way. The challenge is not losing yourself in this flood of information, because the danger is living everyone else's life instead of your own. And that's exactly what leads us into the next point. The hidden price you pay when this process runs without you noticing. When your emotional radar runs nonstop, it doesn't just pick things up. It also pulls things in. Your aura becomes a magnet, attracting specific people, often without you having a clue why. It's like the universe keeps sending recurring characters to test your energy. Some show up with open wounds, others with hidden shadows, and a rare few with genuine awareness. Every encounter reveals more about who you are and how you handle your gift. Among the archetypes, the toughest ones show up the most. There's the wounded child, the person who never grew emotionally and looks to you for endless comfort. There's the shadow projector, the one who dumps their own denied parts onto you, accusing or twisting your image. And of course, the energy vampire, the friend who drains every drop of vitality until you're left empty. Chances are you can already picture faces for each of these roles. But not everyone who comes your way is here to take. There are also positive archetypes like the conscious seeker, someone who sees your sensitivity as a guiding light and comes closer to learn, grow, and transform alongside you. Or the authentic self, people already walking the path of individuation, who find resonance with you instead of dependence. These connections are rare, but when they happen, they're deeply nourishing and lasting. And here's the thing. You've probably asked yourself at some point, why do I keep attracting the same kind of people? The answer lies in your aura. It's a silent invitation, a promise of healing, but also a reflection of your own emotional boundaries. If you don't fully understand your gift yet, you end up like a sponge, absorbing everyone and everything without any filter. That's where the warning comes in. If you don't take ownership of your sensitivity, you become an easy target. Your energy turns into food for emotional vampires. Your peace becomes a dumping ground for other people's projections. Your strength a crutch for someone else's weakness. Before you know it, you're living other people's lives instead of your own. It's like leaving your front door wide open, then complaining when the house gets invaded. In the end, the choice is crystal clear. Either you step up as a psychological alchemist, someone who transforms what they absorb into wisdom and power, or you stay the prey, stuck in cycles of exhaustion. And that choice, even though it looks invisible, begins with small moves. A well-timed no, a boundary set in stone, a decision to put your energy first. Because your aura will always attract, but only you decide what gets in. After so many experiences attracting different kinds of people, you eventually hit a crossroads. Either you keep living as the wounded healer, or you step into the sovereign healer. That shift doesn't mean shutting down your sensitivity. It means learning to guide it with awareness. The sovereign doesn't stop feeling. They just decide what to absorb and what to let pass. That's the difference between being controlled by the gift and taking control of it. And here's where something essential comes in: boundaries. A lot of people think boundaries are about building walls, but they're really more like developing a conscious membrane. You don't need to cut yourself off from the world to stay safe, you just need to filter wisely. That membrane lets in what nourishes you and blocks what drains you. It's not about closing off, it's emotional intelligence applied to your energetic field. Picture a flame. It lights and warms those seeking light, but it also unsettles those afraid of facing their own shadow. Your presence works the same way. It draws in people ready to grow, but it makes others uncomfortable if they'd rather keep hiding. The secret is accepting that you don't have to dim your fire just to please those who aren't ready to see. This process isn't only personal, it's collective too. Empaths act like antennas of consciousness, picking up pain and tension long before it bursts into the open. That's why you feel a heaviness in the air before a tragedy, or notice society's mood shifting before most people even realize. Your sensitivity doesn't belong only to you, it's part of a larger field, connecting individuals to something greater. In practice, this might mean sensing family changes before they happen, picking up tension at work, or even feeling emotions that reflect global events. How many times have you carried anxiety for no reason, only to later discover that something serious happened to someone close, or even somewhere in the world? That's not coincidence. It's your antenna working on a collective scale. And that's exactly why transformation is urgent. Because if you don't learn how to work with this gift, it'll crush you with its weight. But once you integrate it, it becomes both compass and purpose. And that choice opens the door to the next step. Discovering not just how to protect yourself, but how to use your aura creatively, strategically, and consciously. When you start integrating this gift, something shifts. Your sensitivity stops being a burden and turns into a superpower. You're no longer just someone who absorbs pain. You've learned to filter it, transform it, and return it as light. It's no longer about carrying wounds, but about ruling them. Your story isn't just about survival, it's about sovereignty. With every step, you prove you weren't born to be a prisoner of what you feel. You were born to be a guide in the middle of the chaos. What once looked like weakness now reveals itself as the key to your hidden power. And that awareness gives meaning even to your oldest wounds. They don't define you, they prepared you. Your aura isn't a curse. It's the mark of someone who's been through the fire and now knows how to shine. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your experience in the comments. I want to know, have you ever felt your aura shift the whole room? What was it like? Your answer might just help someone else walking this same path.